The air crackled with a nervous energy, a palpable buzz that resonated through the opulent ballroom. Crystal chandeliers dripped with light, scattering rainbows on the silk tablecloths below. The scent of jasmine and saffron mingled with the heady aroma of fine Scotch, creating a symphony of sensory overload. Here, amidst the cacophony of clinking glasses and animated conversation, stood Rohan and Dev, two pillars amidst the shifting tides of Delhi's elite. Their suits, impeccably tailored in charcoal grey with subtle red piping around the cuffs, were a deliberate choice, a silent declaration of their shared ambition and the fire that burned within them. They stood on the periphery of the crowd, their backs to the throng, their gaze fixed on a point somewhere beyond the gilded cage they were temporarily inhabiting. This was the annual gala of the Confederation of Indian Industries, a veritable who's who of the country's business magnates and aspiring entrepreneurs. For Rohan and Dev, it was not just a social event, but a strategic battlefield, a place to network, to strategize, and to plant the seeds of their next venture. The initial funding proposal for the tech farm is almost ready, Rohan murmured, his voice low and laced with a quiet intensity. His hands, usually expressive and animated when he spoke, were now still, their movements as measured as his words. He adjusted his spectacles, the lenses glinting under the soft lighting. Rohan was the strategist, the meticulous planner, his mind a labyrinth of algorithms and projections. Dev nodded, his own gaze intense. He was the charismatic force, the one who could sell ice to an Eskimo and make it sound like a necessity. Excellent. I've got a meeting with Sharma Industries next week. They were impressed with the initial concept, the whole idea of integrating traditional farming with AI. I think we can convince them to come on board as our primary investors. He paused, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. Have you factored in the regulatory hurdles yet? Rohan's lips curled into a barely perceptible smile. Naturally. I've spent the last 3 nights poring over the agricultural policy framework. We'll be jumping through hoops, no doubt, but we'll be ready. We always are. They had been friends since childhood, their bond forged in the crucible of shared dreams and mutual respect. They were the perfect complement to each other. Rohan's pragmatism counterbalanced Dev's audacity, creating a synergy that had already propelled them to modest success. They had started small, a tiny online retail venture that ballooned into a mid-sized business within 2 years. Now, they were aiming for the stars, their ambitions as limitless as the sky above their heads. Remember the old man's words? Dev asked, his voice softening, a wave of nostalgia washing over him. He was referring to their school teacher, Mr. Sharma, who had tirelessly drummed into their heads the importance of ethical business practices and social responsibility. He always said, success without purpose is merely an empty vessel. We're not just building a business, Rohan. We're trying to change lives, and quote. Rohan's eyes, usually filled with analytical calculations, now twinkled with a hint of sentiment. Mr. Sharma's words were their compass, the guiding principle in their journey. And quote. Agreed. This tech farm isn't just about profit. It's about empowering farmers, about bringing modern technology to rural India, ensuring sustainable and ethical practices. It's about legacy, and quote. They fell silent for a moment, the weight of their ambition settling between them, as potent and tangible as the floral arrangements that adorned the tables. The rhythmic pulse of the music washed over them, a gentle thrum that mirrored the steady beat of their own hearts. They were a team, a force to be reckoned bound by shared dreams and the unwavering belief in each other. As the evening progressed, they moved through the crowd, a silent dance of networking and strategic conversation. They exchanged pleasantries with industry tycoons, their words carefully chosen, their expressions carefully neutral. They drank sparingly, preferring to keep their minds sharp and focused. They were not here to revel in the glamour of the event. They were here to work, to sow the seeds of their future. Rohan discreetly slipped away for a moment, drawn to a quiet corner, where he pulled out his tablet and began to re-examine the financial projections. The light from the screen illuminated his face, highlighting the fatigue that had started to settle around his eyes. He knew that the coming months would be a relentless grind, but this didn't deter him. He was built for it. His mind as sharp and finely tuned as a precision instrument. Dev, meanwhile, was engaged in a lively conversation with a prominent agricultural scientist. He was passionately describing their vision, his hands moving expressively, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. He was a master of his craft, effortlessly captivating his audience, painting a picture of a future where technology and tradition converged to create a prosperous and equitable society. Later, as the evening began to wind down, they regrouped, their bodies weary but their spirits still buoyant. They stood again on the edge of the crowd, the vibrant colors of the evening now a faded blur in their peripheral vision. The red accents in their attire, a subtle symbol of their shared ambition, seemed to glow just a little brighter, as if energized by the promise of the future. So, Dev asked, a hint of exhaustion creeping into his voice. What do you think? Did we make progress tonight? Rohan closed his tablet and looked at his friend, his gaze steady and filled with resolve. More than progress, I think we laid down a foundation. Solid, unwavering, just like us. There will be challenges ahead, we know that. But we're prepared. We always are. We have each other, and our shared dream. That's all that matters. Dev grinned, a genuine, heartfelt smile that reached his eyes. To the journey, then. To the journey, Rohan echoed, raising his hand in a silent toast. They knew, deep within their hearts, that this was just the beginning. The road ahead would be long and arduous, filled with unforeseen obstacles and unpredictable challenges. But as they stood there, side by side, under the soft glow of the chandeliers, they were not afraid. They were fueled by their shared ambition, their unwavering belief in each other, and the promise of a future as vibrant and compelling as the red accents in their attire. They were ready to change not only their own lives, but the lives of countless others, one step at a time. The gala had ended, but their journey was just beginning.